Good day everybody, Sebastian Keynes here with another Watch Our Realms presentation. In this one, I'm going to be talking about this new dungeon, the Gear Dungeon, that was just recently released here in the Forerunners Server. That's going to be open for 7 days for us to be able to farm enough forge material so we can look at some of these new sets that have been introduced to the game. And of course, you've seen the Unshaken Will and the Morale. It's being part of the gears on the list. It's just they were not easily accessible, but now we know where we can get them, along with the new sets that have been introduced here in the game, including the Hell's Lament and the Temper Will sets. So let me just kind of show you what I've been going through so far and what I've been able to clear. And based on this account, which is the free-to-play account, remember this is in the Forerunners Server, so I have not spent on this side of the servers at all. So I've kept it basically with the heroes that I'm able to acquire just by playing the game, and also the gear based on the stamina that I'm able to acquire. So far I've been able to clear 3 stages. I'm still working on stage 4, and I'm going to show you why stage 4 is a little bit difficult to conquer and what is the one thing that I'm trying to get over right now on that one. So I will show you that as we get past the first 3 here. Once you clear it, you'll get Power of Dominance, so you can farm it. Okay, and as you can see, as you start progressing through the stages, you are going to be getting more forge material, and I'm imagining that the drop rates of the ancient gear will also increase as you progress through each of the stages. Not only that, it looks like as we start progressing through each one of the stages, if you notice here on the right hand side, the monsters will get some type of mechanic, some type of advantage given to them. In stage 4, one of the difficulties right now is that they get a healing from the boss here, which is Volka. They get healing from her when they attack. That doubles in stages 4 through 6, and you can no longer control them. That's the other unfortunate part. In stage 5, there is a monster that does get invincibility, and then stage 6 is just probably a little bit more HP that you need. So it looks like by stage 6 you're going to need about 722 base power to heroes, just to make sure that you can get through that. I think in my global account I definitely will get through those thresholds. In this one, I'm trying to really push the 655 right now with the gear and the heroes that I do have. I can tell you right now that based on the mechanics of the fight, it does appear that you're going to need some very good defenders, some that can sustain the battles. So for me right now, I've been trying Service and Baron along with Oleg, and I was just recently playing here with Trust just to see if it could help out. You're going to need some very good healers. Maybe those that extend far out are going to help you. That's why you see me have Vortex and Hollow here. And I did have Marion, one of these, but I think that I eventually will take her out, because the slow that I was using as a technique is not really working to try to slow down those waves that are coming at us, those Psycho-san. Yeah, so these fellows, the Psycho-fans. So the Psycho-fans come in waves of 10. And so you gotta be able to manage to take them down quickly, or otherwise they're going to overwhelm your tank. So make sure the bastion rings on your tanks do come in handy. What other things can I tell you about this dungeon? So this dungeon is only going to be open for 7 days. You see here the little timer, and then it closes, probably goes on cooldown for a while, and then it'll open again. We only get 150 dungeon keys to farm this particular dungeon while it is open. So keep that in mind. So while it is open, you only get 147 tries, and of course it does require energy to run each one of the stages, and I think it's 20 in each stage. So if I were to get stuck here on stage 3, I will probably farm it, just get as much as I can, and of course it's going to cost me 20 energy for every single run that I do, but I am limited to 150 total. If I go here to the shop, it looks like we can use the these dungeon crystals that we are able to get from farming to purchase some of the items here. And you can see we got the added shard for gear recasting hammers, so we can get some of those. It looks like we got some type of, what is this? It's a forge material. Okay, so then we can go into the forge and get some of these special this particular gear sets down here. I don't think it's restricted to the ones, the new ones. I think you can still get the old ones. Let me go back here to the heroes, go to the artifacts, go to the forge. No, it would be, where did they put the foundry? There we go, foundry. So you see here the new setup now with the foundry, that while this is open, it looks like you can then come, we can come here and we can then go ahead and try to get the materials that we need to forge this particular sets here. So this here is going to be for the left hand side, so weapon and chest, right, with the light grace and the wicked vengeance. And then these here, the smoldering scales, are going to be for the right hand side with those 4 new sets that you that we have here: the morale, unshaken will, harassment, and tempered will. So we were able to forge all of that. And then there was one that it was called a variant, I believe, that then you can use to forge the other sets. So that's pretty much it so far in what I can tell you about the dungeon in particular here, and how this actually plays out. So 1 and 2 were fairly simple to conquer. I think one of the requirements is that you have to beat all stage 18s to open this up, for this to be available to you. So with that type of gear that you get from the 18 stages, I think that you should be able to clear 1 and 2. 3 is where I started to notice a little bit of the challenge starting to arise, and definitely 4 is just completely I hit a wall for a sense right now, until I'm able to either rearrange the gear to make sure that the AoEs, the mages, or the in my particular case, I'm trying Pelagius because he's a magic damage dealer. He is an AoE, and those are the ones that are going to help us in trying this battle. I do not have Hex, so I cannot try him here. Vienna does of course very good AoE damage. I was also trying Lasir just to see if I can get some damage done to these waves as soon as possible. So let me show you here the clip for stage 3 clearing it, so you don't have to see it with the power of dominance, just to give you an idea of what to look forward to. And then stage 4, why it is that I'm struggling with it right now. Okay, so here's kind of the setup that I decided to use for stage 3, and essentially it will change for stage 4. There's no question on that, given what I'm noticing right now with how stage 4 drastically changes from that of stage 3. So let me see if I can speed this up a little bit, so you can kind of get an idea of how this dungeon is set up, and how we're going to manage on trying to farm it. I ascend from the inferno. So Baron is probably one that is built the best in terms of tank, and I am bringing here Kamet for his AoE damage, along with what's going to be Valkyra. Try to help me to bring these down. For stage 4, that's where Valkyra kind of fell off a little bit, and that's why I brought in Pelagius. I'll show you that here in a minute. But you can see how the Psycho Suns are stacking in this side here. So we have, in this one, we have 7. I think in stage 4, the number increases. And then you can see the next set coming here. So these fellows here have high HP, so yeah, you need to bring them down as soon as you can. And unfortunately also if they do some damage, and so they can bring down our tanks fairly easy. I used the 2 tank strategy here just to slow them down long enough, and then at the same time I started setting up here on the right hand side to make sure that I could cover these bases here. You saw me put down Helga and Oleg here just to set things up, and I'm also going to place Bierna here to help these two out with these waves here. But the goal was just to try to make sure that I managed to keep everybody alive here. So 1 healer was doing it enough for me, at least in this stage. If you encounter difficulties in clearing this and maintaining your tanks alive, you may want to actually bring in Hollow or somebody that can extend out further here and use 2 healers to make sure that you can keep your tanks alive. So at least in this setup here on the right hand side, I feel confident that I can cover it because I have Bierna doing the AoE damage, and I also have here Helga with her multi-strike. So even though she'll only target 1 particular unit, she has a rapid multi-strike that she can then switch to a target once she brings down the first one. And of course then Valkyrie is also doing AoE damage for this particular setup here, but you can see how these waves are building up, and so if you don't take these down quickly enough, the next one will just overwhelm you. And so in stage 4 right now, that's the problem that I'm encountering, is that these are not coming in, they're not going down fast enough, and so the next wave will just come in and overwhelm me. That's going to be the challenge. That is going to be the challenge, is how quickly you can clear this, and with how few DPS can you do it. So you saw my defenders got overwhelmed. One of them did die. Unfortunately, Valkyra brought him back up, and then Vortex was able to heal it. At the same time, you have Volka just doing damage at you, just spewing all the damage. And unfortunately, when these minions do attack you, they will heal. So that's the other thing there. I think Boreas might come in handy for this with its anti-healing. And I've been trying out Lassier now in stage 4 as well, just to see if we can minimize some of that. Then based on the recommending teams that I'm seeing too, the other one that I'm seeing some people starting to use again is Salus, most likely with this artifact, to make sure that the healing does not play too big of a factor in these fights, and then you can bring down these waves a little bit quickly. So the anti-healing people are going to factor into this a little bit. Now Boreas has been adjusted here on the Forerunners server. That's going to be coming out on the public servers, but he will still be a very good candidate for this dungeon, I think, along with any AoE damage dealer. So see over here, do you see all those green numbers coming about? Yeah, that's just they're just healing. Even though if she's gone, they're still healing. The effect maintains during the battle. So just keep that in mind when you construct your composition to try to tackle this. Now let me fast forward a little bit to stage 4 just so you can get an idea. Before I do, you can kind of see this here. It kind of told me, okay, so here you're getting some crystals, you're getting some forged material. Now it directed me to go to the forge. So let's see, now it's telling me, okay, let's go to the forge. You cannot do anything else, just go follow me. So I'm here. Now it's telling me here's where you can get where you can come and use your form material to get these sets that we're offering through this dungeon. And then you can see I got my first one here, and it was RNG. You get what you get, right? So that's part of it. And so for now I just kept it there, but you can see the foundry changed a little bit based on that. And here's where it was telling me about that identity gear setup that I imagine is where you can try to pick the particular set that you're going for. Here I'm in stage 4, and as you can see, I'm barely meeting the BP requirement. I'm barely getting there. So 655, I'm in the 610-ish range here. So definitely we're going to need to farm a little bit more and get improved on the gear. But as I fast forward through here, you'll see what I mean by getting overwhelmed really quick. So let me fast forward a little bit, because you kind of got the idea from the stage 3 fight as to how this is going to build up. So if once everything is set up here, so you can see I'm trying to maintain Baron as much as I can here, try to get him as healed as much as possible, and I'm going to bring in Vortex as well up here just to make sure that I can maintain the defender as long as I can. But you can see the heavy wave coming in here. I need to be bringing these down as quickly as possible. So at least with Pelagius, I'm able to get him to retreat a little bit, and then I can start doing some damage with Komet. Remember, you can only block 3, and then with the Bastion Ring, you get a 4th. So this is why it's so crucial to bring everybody down as quickly as possible. And at the same time, I'm getting damage from Volka. And if I don't do this, if I don't bring these fellows down quickly enough, Baron is just going to get overwhelmed. So it looks here like I reset it based on something that I may not have liked. So let me keep going and see if I can make it. I think Pelagius died. That's what it was. I waited too long to place Vortex down. So here's where I was trying to set up for these waves here with 2 mages, AoE mages, to bring this down, and I'm just trying to use 2 DPS to bring all of this down here. It just gets to be too much, and I'm not doing a good job on killing these units as quickly as possible. If I'm to bring in a second tank, that would prevent me from putting down a defender here, so Lassier and Birna have some time to do their damage. So this is something that I need to work on and try to improve on, try to make sure those waves to come down a little bit quicker. And that's where I am in terms of this account and in stage 4. I did try to use Mary as well to try to slow things down. That wasn't working very well. In this example here, so just they're getting through, and even if I place another tank down, they're just gonna get damaged, and the 2 healers here were not enough to keep both defenders up, and eventually it's just gonna fail. So that's what I was saying. If I place a second tank here, I don't have the opportunity to place another defender here, and Lassier was not doing enough damage to cover this side. So I just decided that I was going to give up on this run. So this little minions here have a lot of HP, so you need to bring them down as quickly as you can. So that is the preview that I can give you regarding this new dungeon, this gear dungeon. It is an endgame dungeon, so I'm not going to fret too much about as to how much I can clear here. We will eventually try to see on the global server how much I can push into it, so to see if we can get to stage 6 and far better. But right now, if I cannot be 4, I'll be content for this level of an account that I have here in the Forerunners servers to farm 3 and just get whatever gear I can get out of this, right? It's a small investment to try to improve on the gear that I have on the account. And as you can see, as we progress through the stages, we'll get more of this crystal so we can get more fortune material, and then we can get better gear out of this dungeon. All in all, it's not a hard dungeon to figure it out, and I'm sure that those that have a more developed account here in the Forerunners servers are going to be able to truck through it, and then we'll be able, you probably see other videos of people clearing stage 6 with ease, based on the heroes that they have. In fact, I can look here to see if anybody has cleared it, and it looks like we have one person or one team has come up on the recommended lineups. So one person has been able to tackle it, and it does look like the Northerners are coming in handy, and he used some esotericist. Oh, he used Ajax too. Ajax might come in handy for this. Okay. All right. And then he used 1, 2, it looks like 2 healers. He was able to get away with 2 healers, and you can see mages were predominant in this fight, and then the tanks, and he did use his Valkyra. So I figured that if I can muster enough damage out of Valkyra, that she could probably do a good job in dealing with those waves on either side, right? Just to make sure that you can bring him down. So, all right, folks, not to prolong this a little bit more, I will continue to work on stage 4, and if I'm able to conquer it, I'll release another video on this. But this is kind of a preview of what this gear dungeon is going to be about and how you can prepare for it, especially if you are in the global server. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and watching. Remember, hit like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.
Their souls are mine to take.